As one of my favorites on YouTube likes to say, there are levels to this. And Jedd Fisch is going up a level. Certainly, welcome to the voice of college football, breaking down the game we all love each and every day with you, best discussion, debate, and analysis. Jedd Fisch makes the move to Washington. This, unlike the Kalen DeBoer move to Alabama to take over for Nick Saban, was much anticipated and was pretty much the slam dunk choice of everyone across the board. Kalen DeBoer to Alabama, all sorts of candidates, all sorts of options. But this one, Washington loses a head coach who's a hot commodity that's just a step lower. Well, that's Jedd Fisch at Arizona. And who would have thought 2 years ago when Jedd Fisch was 0-8, losing his first 8 games in the program at Arizona, that he would be able to elevate to a top 15 to 20 program in college football that just went to the national championship game. 47-year-old Jedd Fisch. What a job he did in Tucson with Arizona football. The roster was depleted, the talent at an all-time low, possibly at least in the last couple decades since joining the Pac-10 at the time, way back in 1978. The culture, oh my word, the culture was not good. The fans were apathetic. And he energized that place. He galvanized the fan base. There was more excitement in Tucson over Arizona football than there's been since Desert Swarm in 1993 in that era. Wow, what a job he did. Again, they had lost 20 consecutive games, and the final 8 were under Jedd Fisch. Kevin Sumlin, of course, was his predecessor, and Kevin Sumlin did a really good job at Houston, came into Texas A&M, and flatlined there, and maybe he just thought, hey, this is my easy ride here to stay in the Power 5, win 6 or 7 games, and stick around. But Kevin Sumlin left him a 1-11 football team. And before that, Rich Rodriguez did a decent job, but the program certainly was starting to stagnate and starting to decline under Rich Rod on the field, and off the field, he had his issues as well. So Fisch comes in to clean up a mess, and that he did. And they immediately were better and more competitive on the field. He brings an offensive mind that's as good as anybody in the country, and they quickly turned it around. So a 16-21 coach usually doesn't get upgraded to a top 10, 15, 20 program in the country, but what a job he did. 10-3 this past season. Even lost his starting quarterback, Jayden de Laura, but replaced him with freshman of the year, newcomer of the year in the Pac-12, Noah Fifita, who's coming back in 2024. Of course, Arizona is off to the Big 12 to possibly compete for a conference championship. You would think that they would be one of the favorite. They've got 16 starters returning, some really good players, again, off this 10-3 team. And Jedd Fisch led the Wildcats to its highest AP ranking after that Alamo Bowl win over Oklahoma, number 11 in the country, highest since 1998. Again, all those starters back. And now, though, we don't know how many starters are going to be back because we got the transfer portal now open with Arizona Wildcats along with Alabama Crimson Tide players for the next 30 days. So we'll see how many of those people stick around. It's been well reported, and actually in one of Jedd Fisch's most recent interviews was in the Jim Rome show that he talked about, well, he was presented with the financial challenges at the University of Arizona where they are having some struggles there. Jedd Fisch was due to make $3.5 million in 2024 at Arizona, and they were looking to extend his contract. He had yet to sign it, and they should have gotten on that. What a career he's got in a number of stops. He really learned his trade in the NFL at a number of places, and then, of course, went to Michigan as quarterback's coach, UCLA as quarterback's coach, and offensive coordinator, and that's really where he set himself up for success. So, Kalen DeBoer to Washington. That's a move up from a top 10 to 15 program to a elite, arguably the best in college football. Then you got Jedd Fisch, Arizona top 40 or 50 program. He moves up to a top 10 or 15 program, and now we see who makes that next step into the Power 5. Is it Jeff Traylor from Texas San Antonio? Rhett Lashley, great first 2 seasons there at SMU, coming off a conference championship in the American. Ryan Silverfield, coming off a 10-3 season in Memphis, 31-19 in his stay there, has had plenty of time to build something there at Memphis and show that he can get the job done on a regular basis. A lot of people like San Jose State's Brent Brennan as well. I just basically went through the standings and thought who from the group of five in particular. But of course, there will be NFL assistants and coordinators that could be in the running as well. Also thought of Barry Odom. So he would be the one guy on this list that has big-time coaching experience in the SEC at Mizzou. And consider before this season, Barry Odom had a better record with Missouri than Eli Drinkwitz did. And look at what he's done at UNLV, lifting them up to near the top of the Mountain West Conference. So DeBoer out to Bama, and now Jedd Fisch to Washington, and what goes on at Arizona and who fills that role. Your comments down below, we always enjoy reading those, and the discussion, the debate, and analysis right here at the Voice of College Football.